You've tuned into The Mountain Gardener with your host, Ken Lain. Gardening, it can be challenging, but with these simple insider tips, you'll reap huge rewards. Now, let's tune into today's Mountain Gardener with Ken and Lisa. So we are in the early spring planting season. This is the time. We just sold a record number of fruit trees. We had a fruit tree drop, 3 weeks ago? So literally, I don't know, 30 or 40 of them just online, and then another 30 or 40 in the store. It's time to put fruit trees in the ground. It's time to start putting your flowering early spring plants, red buds and crab apples and service berries and all those early spring bloomers. They announce that spring is here. You want to put those in the ground before they wake up. So they're heavily budded. In fact, we had to bring all the fruit trees out of the greenhouse. We had them in there for the comfort of gardeners so they could shop them easily, no matter the weather or wind. But they were starting to get tricked into blooming. The apricots were starting to bloom. I went, okay, doesn't matter. Gardeners have to go shop for them out there in the tree racks, no matter the weather, because we need to slow these things down. So it's right there. The buds are gigantic. The flower buds are gigantic on the fruit trees. The leaf buds are right behind that. Those are huge as well. And so you really do, you should feel the urgency right now to start planting your early spring blooming trees and shrubs mainly. So you can hold off on flowers because they grow so fast. You can wait, but you only get one shot at trees. They grow generally in the spring, and then they can grow a little bit more, but basically they grow in the spring. And if you wait to plant those until they're leafed out or until they're blooming, you have more chance of what we call transplant shock. So these tender new leaves are exposed to dry, windy, cold, extreme climates of early spring here in the mountains, and they can literally freak out. They just go, oh my gosh, what is going on? And so they tend to shrivel, the leaves get smaller, but if you put them in the ground, they kind of wake up there. And what happens with plants, this is all plants, but when they start to bloom or leaf early spring, right afterwards, almost immediately as they leaf out, they start to root, just like bump, just they leaf, then they root. And so you want to take advantage of every single inch or centimeter of that you can to maximize your root formation, especially before the heat of summer. So the more roots, even a little bit extra roots, makes a big difference on how those plants react in the summer, basically July, August. And then if you're even hoping to have fruit, you need to put those in the ground now. And so fruit trees typically need to be 5 to 7 years old. They really need to be about 5 years old before they're old enough to start to actually set fruit. Before that, they'll flower, but they really don't have a root structure. There's the trunk is not thick enough to really hold up fruit. So you really shouldn't let them fruit until they're older. Once they're about 5 years old, they get enough roots, they're strong enough, they got the scaffolding or the structure that trees are famous for holding all that weight, then you let them load up. Well, all the trees we have here at Waters Garden Center, they're all at least that old or older. Some of them are 10, 15 years old, the big ones. And so those are, if you plant one of those right now, they'll actually fruit for you right there in the ground this year. No waiting. Right now, we'll be picking fruit in July. Here we go. I'm going to have plums. They're going to melt in my mouth. They're going to be so good. And so, or apples or pears or cherries or nectarines or cherry. I mean, you can plant those now. And so it's important. I would say also it's time to really get your soils ready. I mean, you're really days away before you can start putting garlics and potatoes and your pansies and all these early kales, snapdragons. I've got the most beautiful snapdragons you've seen. They're glorious in full bloom. You can plant those as soon as your soil is ready. So if you're thinking about adding some potting soil to your raised beds, do it now. If you're thinking about amending your vegetable soils with manures or another 2 to 3 inch layer of composted material, I'm just quoting the material, the book to you, 2 to 3 inch material tilled down to 1 or turned over 1 shovel's depth into the soil before planting. That's what you need to do. And you should feel the urgency because let's face it, it's basically March is planting season. It's time to go. Just stop stalling. Get out there. Put that coffee cup. Don't bake any more cookies. It's time to be outside in the fresh air and just cleaning up, kind of getting things ready, getting the soil prepped, and then starting to plant those trees and shrubs. Really important to get the lilacs, the forsythia, flowering quince, all these early spring bloomers. You can put those in the ground now. And I sell most of them when they're in full bloom. We just put them on end caps, and then every cart will have one because they smell so good. But to my friends, you're tuned in, plant them before they're in bloom so they don't drop their flowers. They keep blooming longer because they wake up in the yard going, oh, I don't remember this, but yeah, I'll just bloom here. This feels pretty good. I'll just go for it. And so that's when you start to do that. So anyway, it's time. That's how you tell when it's spring and what to plant now.
Hi, Waters with the plants of the week and our double pink Linton Rose.
Stunning double pink flowers dangle from this amazing perennial.
And this flower stands apart from the rest for its tremendous color impact that starts in midwinter and then holds its blooms right through spring.
So tough it's rarely bothered by bugs and completely deer-proof.
Waters Garden Center, 1815 Iron Springs Road in Prescott.
For a more fruitful garden, increase success in the landscape that just feels better, then tune in daily to the Mountain Gardener podcast. Subscribe through your favorite podcast streamer or visit watersgardencenter.com. Better yet, visit me directly right here at Waters Garden Center. Thanks for tuning in.